Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. I had another question or comment actually come in from Justin Quaid. But before I get into that, here I am at the lighthouse at Chandler Park. Again, right on the head of Marblehead. Uh, and it's a beautiful scene. Anyway, beautiful day out here. The comment was because I was down on the pressure points, or I was commenting on the pressure points. He was saying, well, you know, the knockouts don't look any different to him, and I understand that. I respect that. First of all, YouTube is really difficult to discern anything that's going on for real. You can get an idea, but you really don't know for sure what's going on. In real time, if you're at a seminar and you're not actually experiencing it, you won't really know what's going on inside the person's body either. When people do the pressure points, they're sometimes hitting the nerves akin to it or next to it. So it's really hard to say when someone really bings a nerve, but when we have done the experiments with it, we understand that the hitting the nerves has deeper reactions. The people stop breathing, they have difficulty swallowing, many different difficulties that you can get. Now the nerves send a far more acute message, and if you're experiencing it from the recipient side, especially, you're going to notice a big difference. It's like the difference between getting hit on the old point, large intestine 10, and hitting your funny bone. All right, one, you'll get a dull ache. That's hitting more the fascial layer. The other, you'll get a sharp, acute pain that makes you act irrationally. So there are differences, and I understand that it's really hard to discern from some of the films, but understand this. I spent many years with the pressure points. I was a pressure point therapist long before I got into the pressure points for Kyusho. And I understood the healing aspects of them, and I used them in acupressure. And working with that, I understood their mechanism and how to adapt to them and how to work with them. Going through the Kyusho stage, at first I thought they were the same thing, okay, just like everybody else. And you know, you got all these books out there, including the Bubishi, the modern Bubishis. They call out the pressure points, but the old texts didn't. So that's why we undertook these studies to get into the nerves. And I hope I'm not beating this subject to death, but you know, I've been there. I've done the pressure points, and I've also done the nerves, because we slowly moved away after the medical tests and discussing things with many a doctor and many a scientist, as mentioned many times. And we found how to access the nervous system and get far better results. And yes, the people still fall down, okay? But does that mean that the pressure point guys accidentally hit a nerve, or does that mean that they're affecting the muscle spindle cells or the Golgi tendon receptors in such a way, or the fascial layers in such a way that it causes the collapse? So again, if you're not receiving and you're not seeing the difference personally between a nerve and a pressure point, then of course it doesn't look so much different. Okay, but I can assure you it is, and that's why I keep pressing people to understand the realities of what Kyusho is and was for the old masters, because they only wrote about the neurological shocks, the hypovolemic shocks, many different medical terms. Not a single TCM term, not a single pressure point was mentioned. They called their points by their own names, and their names translated differently than a triple warmer 17 or a stomach 5, for example. So again, when you cross-correlate everything over decades, you start to get the true understanding of what Kyusho is. And I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade that's doing pressure points. I just want the pressure point community to understand that there is a different mechanism, and that it's sound medically and scientifically, but also at the same time how they can get better. So thanks for watching. Great comment, Justin.